This podcast is brought to you by Penji. Penji is a creative subscription service that gives you access to pre-vetted, agency-trained creatives from all over the world. From graphic design to illustrations to social media management and web development, it's all included for one monthly price. It's time to say goodbye to the hassle of searching for top-notch creative talent. With Penji, you get quality and consistency delivered right to your inbox every day, carefully crafted for you by humans. So meet your new creative team today. Head over to penji.co for more and enter the coupon code located within the podcast show notes.
Alrighty. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me. Thank you, Daniel, for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Shannon. Nice to be here.
It's awesome. So you have a Philadelphia company. I would love to ask you about Philadelphia to start out today. Does that sound
Sure. Yeah, sounds great. Feel free.
beautiful? Okay, so the first word that you think of when you hear Philadelphia.
I think it's definitely sun. You know, I lived in Warsaw before coming here to Philadelphia. I just moved like 3 months ago, and even I think it was December 5 or something like that. And even then, I saw sun, and it's a great contrast with Warsaw when you don't see sun like a lot, not at all, pretty much. So yeah, definitely that.
The sun does improve the mood. I too am very happy that you're able to have it.
All the
more now.
vitamins, all the stuff you get from it is just what
It's-
makes us live.
Good for you. Makes you live longer, probably. I don't really know the statistic on that.
Hopefully.
Probably. What celebrity do you think of when you think of Philadelphia?
Definitely Rocky. I mean Sylvester Stallone, but you know what I mean. You know, the steps really, and that, and the whole statue. It's, something that I cannot not think about.
Have you done the touristy thing of taking a picture with the statue yet?
I looked at it. You know, I'm not very much a picture person. I'm lucky enough to kind of drive by it every day or so. So I kind of look at it, and I like it this way. Besides,
That's
it's pretty
a good
cold
thing to do.
to go there. At least right now.
People will make fun of you for being a tourist anyway. You can look at it. Just, you can look at it all you
It's
want.
inevitable.
What is your favorite cheesesteak spot?
I think Reading Market. I'm not sure about the name of the spot, but you know, there is one in Reading Market that does chicken cheesesteaks, and I love those. I know many people say it's the wrong way to eat them, but for me, it's like the most right way possible.
Oh, it's delicious. I don't think there's anything wrong with it as long as you don't get a bad one. If you get a bad one, it's way worse than getting a bad cheesesteak because, yeah. But yeah, there's a bunch of great places in Reading Terminal. There's a place that makes like a similar cheesesteak, but it has andouille sausage in it. It's it's the Cajun place. You'll probably find it eventually in your search around there. But if you do happen upon it, I can't remember what it's called, but definitely get the andouille sausage. I think it's a cheesesteak. I'm almost positive it's a cheesesteak. It is
Sure.
best thing I've ever had in my life, probably ever. They also have alligator bites, which is fun. And it
Oh, wow.
kind of just tastes like chicken. It's really good.
This is really cool. I'm gonna be there like this Thursday, I think, and this is what I'm gonna do.
You should check it out. It's almost like directly in the middle, close to the front side. I guess the front side is not a great description. It's not in the tunnel, so the other side.
I see now. It's still hard for me to navigate. There are so many places. I eat whatever I stumble upon, and something that looks
Everything's
good.
good.
But everything.
They pay a lot of money to be in the Reading terminals. They have to be over
yeah.
a certain bracket of of goodness, I suppose. Which, well, that's all the time we have for the rapid fire questions right now. But thank you, and I think that you answered those beautifully. I think you're already a big part of Philadelphia already. It's great.
You're saying this. Thank you.
It doesn't take much. I think if you enjoy the food here, then you're already a part of it. So thank you again for joining me today. If you guys don't know or you haven't been here before, this is the Fully Managed podcast. This is a podcast where we discuss marketing and business tips to help assist you on your business journey. I'm your host, Shannon, Penji's partner coordinator, and I'm joined here today with a very special guest, Daniil from Stera Global. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
This was absolutely, I'm already excited because I got to talk about food first on this podcast. So.
Oh, yeah. I'm a big foodie too, and it's just, yeah, great to talk about food from time to time.
So could you start by telling us a little bit about yourself, maybe introducing you a little better than I would or differently than I would, and tell us about your professional journey, anything up to
Sure.
the point you think is relevant, and what you do now.
Yeah, so, I've been interested in technology from like, pretty much childhood. Back in high school, I was changing firmwares to phones and, exploring Windows Mobile and all of that stuff. First Android, of course. And it's been a weird journey for me because I kind of was exploring all those new things that I loved, how they looked, how they worked, but also I was finding immediately something that I didn't like about them. I just couldn't pinpoint it, but I was always thinking, okay, I would do that differently and stuff like that. Fast forward multiple years when I was finishing my computer studies university and going towards business management university, I got really lucky. So I landed the job while in university. It was like an IT project manager job, and I was studying for project manager back at the time. And I got lucky twice, pretty much, because first of all, I get hired during that study. Secondly, the business owner in that business, it was the right time for me to be there, sort of, because they were booming, the whole business. They were doing products in terms of software development for products in the US. And because of the high load within that company, they just gave me the whole product to manage myself. This guy who just university guy who doesn't know anything. And the task for me, yeah, it's nice, big opportunity, but really stressful one, And the task for us was, okay, let's get this product created and showcase something at CES, this big conference, tech one. And we spent about half a year building something, starting at the same time. It was really stressful for me, but we got it done. We got it presented on the CES, and it was quite successful. But something was missing for me personally within this whole approach. It was a software company, right? And they were developing this product, but not designing it. And they had this guy, me personally, designing the whole thing. I didn't know anything about design, to be honest. I had this gut feeling from my childhood that I was talking about, but that was pretty much it. And we designed something, but it was just not right. And this is when I learned that you cannot build a good product without good design, like at all. It was just something weird. And I think that was my first idea to build a design agency, like that first initial step that took it. And yeah, since then I was doing three things simultaneously. I was working at that. With that team, I was still studying, and I was building Stera, the first very naive attempts of doing so. And it was really stressful back then. But since then, we grew a lot and moved countries 3 times, to be honest.
Three times? Or the other ones?
So I started in Ukraine. Then we moved to Poland. Then from Poland, we moved to the US. And this is hopefully our last move because it's a lot. But we've been moving there, not like moving, but striving to be here for a long time. And it's great to be here.
Oh, that's wonderful. Is the rest of your team here as well?
Some of them are. Some of them are still in the process. Right now, we are like separated across the whole world, pretty much. We get guys in Europe, still in Poland, some guys in Ukraine, people in Japan, and it's Stera Global is for a reason. The whole name. We have global talent everywhere.
Is it difficult to manage people in different time zones, or like how do you organize that?
A bit difficult, yes, for sure. Luckily for us, it's, we started being remote before COVID, before before it became mainstream, sort of. And we learned a lot back then. It was even our initial marketing point was, okay, we are full remote. And it was naive of us to say that, but still. A lot of our processes are coming from that. And, I think that helps. We're using things like Asana, calendars, trying to be smart with Google Calendar and multiple synced calendars. It's I cannot track this system, but it does a lot of things for me, which is great.
That's helpful. Yeah, there's a lot of tools that definitely make things easier. Are there other tools that you utilize that you think would be helpful for others to know about?
I think so. Yeah, it's weird, that tool that I'm gonna suggest, but we as a whole agency, instead of using chats like Slack, Microsoft Teams, stuff like that, we're using it. And just for one reason, because we can talk to each other in a room-like environment. You don't need to do meetings. You don't need to do that sort of stuff. You just, if somebody is in the office, you see them there in the channel. You can just come in and say hi.
That's so nice. I never really thought about it like that, of just being able to see that someone's online and being able to like kind of act like you're in the office a little.
It's strange for us because, well, it's been a big problem for us as a global team, like getting to know each other and to build a team that is acting like a team would in the office, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's difficult to build something like this in the remote. And a lot of our guys, like team members, they run from that, from the issue that, okay, I sit in the chat, look at it every day. I don't know any of my team members, who they are, what they do, and I just feel impersonal. Nobody talks to me. And we are trying to solve that with Discord, and it's been 2 years, maybe even 3 years of doing this. And it's great. I would never do anything differently.
Do you have channels that are outside of work, like different hobbies or different things like that, where people get to know each other for reasons outside of like the work?
Yeah. We have a whole like set of channels when we even do parties there. To be honest, it's fun. Yeah, so a lot of what we do is because we are a tight-knit team, and you need to support this somehow. And being fully online, it gets harder.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it's difficult to get to know people. We kind of try to have like we went fully remote. We were hybrid when we started, and we try to do like a meetup once a month now to be able to just like regroup, see each other. It's very nice. Like, remember that we're not virtual people, and remember that we're real.
That does wonders. That honestly does wonders for everything, for like productivity. And a lot of people, I feel like they underestimate this aspect. It's something that you need to actually trust people, like being able to talk to them like this daily, right? You cannot just go full chat and expect them to do stuff perfectly as a regular team would.
Yeah, I think it's also difficult because a lot of things get lost in translation when you're speaking on chat. I think that people interpret things differently, or that you're angry with them, or whatever.
I don't know what it is about this effect. I have this great client right now who is like, we are talking in chat sometimes, we are meeting on the meetings, and every meeting with him is great. We laugh, we joke. It's great relationship, But the moment we jump over to chat, he just has this ability to write messages to look like he's pissed off. I don't know what it is about it. Like, he's a great guy. I love talking to him, but he makes our team uneasy somehow. And that's why we started inviting all the team members on calls with him, just to see how great the guy is.
He's a nice guy. I completely understand that. I actually, I had a discussion with someone recently on the podcast about how they put things very curtly in chat, where it's very succinct and like as less words as possible, as simplified as possible. I think when something is simplified, it almost seems like you're angry because of the way in which it's worded, because you're not saying please or thank you or all these things, just because it's quicker in theory to put it out like that, but then it sometimes makes people uneasy because
of course, yeah,
you're worried
a lot of
that
people overthink, and it's part of us all, like psychologically, to see those signals, and we don't see them in chats, of course.
Yeah, so it's really beneficial to be able to talk to someone face to face, especially when things are misconstrued or misunderstood, it's very easy to like kind of touch base and make sense of it all and know that you're
Storm,
not
right?
warring.
I feel like this is why a lot of larger companies, they're trying to get everyone back in the office. It's so much harder to do something like this, like to build actual relationships within bigger structures. If you're talking like 500 people, it's impossible, I feel like.
Yeah, exactly. I think it is something that's very difficult. I think that the more things that you incorporate into the workspace that almost makes it more personal is the best way of doing it, or a remote environment to get your team to collaborate better. Because I think that it's a remote environment can definitely work, but I think it works best when you have connections with someone, especially
Yeah,
there's that responsibility that goes into it of that you maybe not doing your best work might affect this other person that you also are fond of, or like, has a family or whatever it may be. And like, and I know that it's upsetting to know that you have to have the connection with someone in order to do your best work. But sometimes that is just how it works, of the idea that that you not doing your best work might negatively affect someone else. And now that you have a connection with them, you almost feel more
hmm
accountability to do that. And I think that is a big part of
for
kind of
sure.
getting to know someone on your
Well,
team.
we're a community-based species,
Yeah.
like general, historically, and it's inevitable. It's just part of us, part of who we are, I guess.
Yeah. And I think that people do crave that. I think that COVID showed that so well because of
Oh yeah.
not being able to have access to that community and people being kind of starved for it, where there's
Felt
this
so
big boom.
lonely for everyone. It was strange experience.
Yeah, it is very weird. It's like not meant for humanity was not meant for that. I guess. So switching gears a little bit because I'm curious about this. So did you start this design agency because you felt like there was a need for it based off of that experience that you had, or was it something that you genuinely enjoyed kind of um, getting into when you had to do it previously?
I think it was totally genuine for me because, well, if you go back to this CES thing and this product that I was building back then, I just felt something within me saying that, okay, this is great. I want to do this. I want to do more of this, and that was a big motivating factor for me because whenever I guess that works with any people, with any person, when you see that thing that you want to do, you do it great. You just want to do more of it, right? Uh, so yeah, that was a big reason for me to jump into that. And for me, it was about just any system. I can just see what's wrong with it and what I want to change. And I just have this voice inside me, pretty much, to be honest. Yeah, it's really easy for me saying, okay, that shouldn't be like that. That shouldn't be there. Do it like that, right? And that is what helped me build a successful team as well, because some people just don't have it within them. They need they need our direction, right?
Mhm.
And that helped a lot because when you're building a team from the ground up, I guess you're not hiring senior people, right? You're hiring the cheapest workforce possible, just because it's where you're at as a business. And this is, by the way, I think it was my best decision, but also biggest mistake back uh, in the days when I was building Stera. So we had to hire cheapest people, right? We couldn't afford anyone expensive, and you kind of have to go with junior, right? So we hired a bunch, and we made a decision to hire on an hourly basis instead of going full time because
Mhm.
we couldn't afford it. And we thought, okay, when we can afford it, we will of course pay people full salaries, stuff like that. But for now, we just cannot. And I think we spent way too much time paying hourly. In the
Mhm.
end, that just came back to bite us, honestly.
Because they were maybe spending more hours on something than they were supposed to, or what it was
Not
expected.
really more hours.
Mhm.
Uh, they spent. It was okay. It worked, but they weren't motivated by doing more. They weren't
Oh,
motivated by staying in the team. They weren't part of it. in their minds. We weren't as tight knit as we are with the current team because they didn't feel like it's a full-time thing. Like it's my company I'm working at.
Yeah.
It was just a bunch of freelancers, to be honest, and that was a big mistake on our part because you cannot build great design teams without people feeling like as part of it.
Yeah.
And wanting to contribute something from the inside of them.
I think that is troublesome for a lot of teams that include freelancers, just because it does naturally make sense that they wouldn't have like an attachment or commitment necessarily to like the agency or whatever business they're working for, solely because that's not their only thing that they're doing, probably, because that's normally like a freelancer normally is
Course, yeah.
doing multiple projects at a time, and it makes sense that they wouldn't have that commitment to it. So it does suck when you know that maybe they have the capability to do the work that you've seen, but maybe that's not like the effort that's going into it, or maybe the end result isn't what you like expected, or you expected more, and it's solely because they're maybe doing multiple things at a time and don't have the bandwidth to be able to commit.
Yeah, even if they're fully free, you'll never get the 100%.
Yeah.
This is what many design agencies like. I've seen people lose their agencies to that approach. They never get 100% effort. They lose clients because of it. They cannot manage quality because of it. And this was our mistake as well. At some point you kind of grow enough to have some cash, to acquire bigger clients, to have some great works to show for yourselves, and you start getting, let's say, real clients, the clients with the good names, Fortune clients, stuff like that. And at that point, you cannot afford to have freelancers. And if you're not ready for that jump, because Fortune clients have different requirements, right? They need real expertise. They need real people to spend I don't know how many hours just making things great. And our first clients that we landed back when we had a freelancer team, just it didn't work out, sadly. We weren't ready, and we spent multiple years after that rebuilding everything just to be able to land another one and for them to stay.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's a part of everyone's, I think, like, growing their agency or trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. I think that a lot of agencies, when they start, kind of fall into that trap, or kind of almost have to, solely because that's what starts you out. So I think that it's great that you were able to learn from that experience, and also figure out what works for you, because I think that's just a normal part of the process.
I guess so. Yeah, for many people it is. It's just the game of balance. And I always tend to say that any business is choosing your problem. Because today you are choosing to have recruitment problems. You need to hire people. The moment you solve them, you have bench problems and other problems, and you select one, you solve one, you get another one, and it's a constant fire. And it's really difficult for some people not to perceive it as constant fire and constant stress and constant something that is wrong, because it's just part of running an agency, I guess, a business.
Yeah. Well, what is maybe I don't want to focus on the negatives, but what is something else that you struggled with when starting that you think that is like remedied now through different trial and error?
Oh yeah, I think something that we are still struggling with, and I guess everyone is to an extent, is getting clients. I think a lot of agencies right now, like there is a real point of entry via platforms like, let's say, Upwork, Fiverr, freelancer.com, whatever other platforms. It's easier to get into business that way than just talking to a guy on the street. Obviously, right? You have a marketing platform built for you, but at some point, you cannot put all your eggs in one basket.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what happened to us as well. We put all of our eggs back in the early stages of growth into Upwork. We reached pretty good results there. We're top 1% of the platform right now, but you need to grow further than that. that became a problem at some point because you need to invent a whole new marketing channel, understand how much it costs you, how much it costs you to acquire leads there. And platforms that do that for you, they're great, but they do a lot of work that you don't realize for you, like actual lead generation, like pretty much marketing yourself somewhere out there, right? Having a profile that people look at. I mean, without that, it's tougher. It takes more time, more effort, and it's harder to do that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that putting all your eggs in one basket can be detrimental in a multitude of ways when building an agency, specifically when focusing all of your resources on like one platform. What if something happens to that platform? I think of COVID a lot of the times when I think about putting all your eggs in one basket, where like someone will put all of their effort into advertising their business in like a certain spot, and then because of COVID or whatever, they that that platform is completely shut off, or it doesn't work anymore, or they had to shut down because of resources, or working remotely, or not being able to, or whatever it may be. So I think that putting yourself in different spots is beneficial, just because you can't foresee a future issue.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It's
And it also applies for services, I'm guessing, for many agencies. I know a lot of people who over niche, and overall, it's a great thing because you can just carve out a small niche for you and be the best at it, the best possible guy there. And people just, they will come to you for that. But also at the same point, what if that niche becomes, just stops working, right?
Yep.
What if some banks in California go bankrupt and at some point all the digital products disappear? Something that can actually happen. And I think it's really important to niche for any agency, but you need to also think about the eggs and all eggs in one basket thing when niching, because your niche
Yeah,
needs to be resilient.
Yeah, I noticed that you collaborate with a diverse group of industries. How do you tailor your design strategies to meet like the unique challenges of each industry?
For us, uh, it's a difficult process. We are more of a boutique agency than others. We are niched not in terms of our processes, but in terms of um, how we work on any single project. Think about it as in terms of like car manufacturing, for example, right? You get Toyotas, you get Mercedes, who have great products, and they do it for millions of people. Uh, we are more of a coach building studio that builds one thing in a really great way, and for us, every project is sort of a new undertaking where we spend all the time possible, all the effort to make it really work.
hmm That makes complete sense, because I know there's so many industries that have a lot more to them than just, making a good design. Some of them have legal relations, especially like the healthcare industry, and different like HIPAA compliance and different things like that, which
For
I
sure, yeah.
never that sounds taxing in order to um, investigate and be able to create something out of that, because it's you have to kind of indulge yourself into that industry and learn a lot more about it than just simply creating something for it.
Mhm. It's really important to talk to your clients about it directly. They know way more than they think they know. Some things they just assume, and the whole talking process. You probably feel already that it's really important for me to talk within the team and also outside the team. Same thing. Uh, a lot of agencies, they just underestimate the power of discussion, basic discussion, and getting really detailed about certain things, because you never know what your client knows, what their team knows. And HIPAA compliance, for example, is one of the things that you have to do if you're working with healthcare.
Yeah.
Every industry is different, and it's really important to learn the industry you're working on.
Do you ever struggle with the balance of creativity and also fitting the needs of your client, because I know that,
Always.
you don't want to stifle your team, but you also want to be able to create something that makes your client happy.
Yeah, always. I feel like for every separate person, there is a balance of creativity and user experience that they have, and it's just natural for us. For me, I'm a bit more UX inclined than UI inclined. Luckily, I have people in my team say no to me in some cases because something can be usable, but if it looks weird, we cannot afford it.
Yes,
We
of course.
cannot do it. And yeah, it's really important to take this balance into consideration and know your own plus and minuses, right? Not like plus and minuses, but things that you're best at and not. And also within your team to build something that kind of functions as a counterbalance system, if you know what I mean. So people can really say no, say yes to each other, and not just blatantly agree to something that they know is not going to work because the boss told me so.
Yeah, no, it's really nice to be able to have like almost checks and balances within your team that's not afraid of telling you things that are truthful because they might know better about it. I think that fostering the communication between you and your team is very good, especially when they feel comfortable, coming to you with something that might be wrong or not, or out of place. Because I think that makes a business function the best. I think when you're uncomfortable or afraid of telling your boss the reality of a
Oh yeah,
situation,
it
then
never works out.
yeah,
Never works out, sadly. Same goes with the clients, by the way. I feel like I made this mistake many times, and I wanted to avoid it so much. Uh, just don't be a yes man, I guess. To the
yep,
client, especially. Sometimes it's way more important to say no. Of course, explain how to solve the problem and just, I guess, discuss, right? But saying no is, I think, even more important sometimes than saying yes.
yeah, you have to be realistic with them. Of course, I think that it does suck when you're in need of clients and you think that saying no
Oh
might
yeah.
keep them from, continuing to be a client. But I think it's also, you don't want to work with someone that's not a good fit if they're not going to, like listen to your professional advice, especially if they're coming to you for a service. Of course, there's a balance between that. Like they know their industry best probably. So, obviously there's circumstances in which you're going to have to listen to them. And that you might butt heads hopefully just lightly. But I think that it is something that it's a balance of a relationship where you feel comfortable sharing both sides, in which
Yeah.
your professional opinion and their professional opinion.
Yeah, for sure. And with the whole, professional opinion thing, of course, it's important to get the client that respects you, right? But I feel like it's also really important. Like when you talked about saying no to the client, there's a small rule that we use after learning this from our own mistakes. We try not to take on clients where we don't feel like we will hit a home run for them. Any small agency's work is about hitting that home run for any client. You have to, right? And, of course, there is reviews online and stuff like that, but we're not really worried about that. We're just worried about people actually talking about our work in a nice way to other people. That brings way more business that you would think about, and you just have to control the quality at all times to deliver something that is great.
Yeah, you want to deliver excellence and not just good.
Yeah,
And
sometimes it just means saying no.
yeah, exactly. Man, that makes so much sense. It's also like setting expectations for yourself of like not taking on, obviously it's nice to take on challenges to see what you're capable of, but at the same time, when it's stressing out your team or it's just too much for you to handle, it's okay to be realistic about that, because unfortunately you're both going to be unhappy at the end if you're taking on something that may seem impossible.
Yeah. But also, of course, there is a balance to it, right? You want to diversify. You want to you want to not have all your eggs in one basket, and that is done by taking challenges, right? Some clients will never be happy as well, right? If you're building a new service, expect some problems, I guess, right? It's inevitable, and we've done that multiple times with many services. Some things we still don't offer because we learned it the hard way. But yeah, that's I guess it's just part of running the whole agency thing.
Yeah. Well, I think that is a really comprehensive thought to end on, because I do think that we're a little over time, but I think that's a really great it's a really great message to end on, because I do think that people need to be a little more realistic with the clients in which they take in. I think that a lot of people think that they can do everything, or they want to try to do everything, and it's important to take on what you can and what you're capable of.
For sure.
But thank you so much for joining me today. I think this was
Thanks
incredible.
for having me. Yeah, it's been a great conversation. I appreciate your time.
This was very fun, and I thank you for. I'll send you emails after this about some more places you can go to in Philadelphia. I mean,
I would appreciate this. Thank you.
Of course, but I really appreciate you joining me today. Thank you for coming on. I hope that you love Philly and that this is your final destination, because not like the movie, The Scary, but
Well, yeah, I hope it is. Not the movie but yeah, the actual destination.
But thank you again so much for providing all this value for this podcast. And thank you everyone for watching or listening. Please don't forget to check out other episodes to get to learn like I get to. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much and have a lovely day.
You've been listening to Fully Managed, brought to you by Penji. Check out the show notes to learn more about today's guest, and to learn more about Penji, the human-first creative subscription service, head over to penji.co. And by the way, if you're still listening, it would mean the absolute world to us if you were to share this podcast with a friend, and of course, subscribe.